Hey everybody, it's Jamie from Modern Day Fox. This week I'm going to be doing some food prep and I got a brand new cookbook. It is called Paleo Cooking with Your Instant Pot and it's by Jennifer Robbins. She has a blog called Predominantly Paleo. I like to eat paleo, not 100%, but every time I eat paleo I feel better and it helps me, cut out a lot of the carbs, a lot of the gluten and everything that kind of makes me feel bloated. So when I saw that she had a pre-release on this cookbook for the Instant Pot, I'll tell you the things that I'm putting into the pot, but I'm not going to tell you the measurements just because I want to respect the fact that she's just trying to sell a cookbook, and I highly recommend you go on Amazon and get it. So I'm going to make two different things for my meal prep this week from this cookbook and let you know how they are. And the first one I'm going to make is the creamy tomato soup. It looks super easy and I'm excited to try it. I wanted to show you one quick trick before I got started that I read on the Instant Pot community, was that if you set your Instant Pot on saute as you are preparing your food, it heats your pot up and it'll help you bring it to pressure faster. So that's what I have it doing right now. I have some of the ingredients prepped and ready to go. It calls for onions, carrots, and sweet potatoes, coarsely chopped. So I'm gonna dump those into my pot, and we're gonna be pureeing this after it's done cooking, so I don't have to spend a lot of time dicing. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off because I can hear it sizzling. Calls for some minced garlic, and again, I'm not gonna take a lot of time on cutting this garlic up because I'm gonna puree it. Can of diced tomatoes, some avocado oil, got my sea salt here, a couple dashes of that, have my broth, some pepper of course, put the lid on. Always remember to put your valve to sealing. I forget that all the time. That's a mistake. We are going to do the soup setting here. It goes to 30, so we're all set. And we're just gonna let it come to pressure, cook, and then we'll do a quick release. While I'm waiting for the soup to cook, I'm gonna start prepping for the next thing that I'm gonna put in the pot, which is the bacon turkey meatloaf. I have onions that I'm dicing. The bacon is cooking. Add the ground turkey. Onions. Also calls for ketchup. Some garlic salt. Pepper. 1 egg, arrowroot, my bacon's done, so I'm gonna chop that up. Gonna add that bacon to the bowl, and we are ready to mix it with our hands. I have it all mixed up. I'm wondering how it's going to turn out. It feels very wet, but I'm trusting the recipe. When you put a meatloaf in the Instant Pot, it's best to wrap it in some kind of foil so it doesn't all fall apart while it's steaming. My Instant Pot just went off, so I'm going to do a quick release on the soup. Over it. All the pressure has released, so I'm going to take the lid off. It smells so good. So obviously this is supposed to be tomato soup, so we're going to do a puree to take all these vegetables down to a really smooth liquid. I'm going to start slow on my Vitamix. And then just gradually turn it up. My soup is done blending, so I'm just gonna pour it into this bowl. Smells great. There's a couple more steps to the soup, but I don't want to waste any time, so I'm going to put my meatloaf in my pot. I've given my bowl a quick wash, and I'm going to put my trivet into my bowl. And 1 cup of water. Put this back into my Instant Pot, and then place my meatloaf that's ready, packed up and ready to go. Place it into the bowl. Put the lid on. Turn the valve to sealing, and then this says manual 20 minutes. It's already ready to go. So 20 minutes on my meatloaf, and I'm gonna finish up my soup. And basically this step in the recipe is just a way to thicken it up in a paleo way. She calls for coconut milk full fat, but I'm gonna use light since I'm on the 21-day fix and I'm trying to watch my fat and calories. And also arrowroot. We're going to stir that together and make a slurry and then mix it into the soup. It has a great texture, but we all know that the real telltale factor is how does it taste. So I'm going to take a little sampling. Oh, it has a great flavor. It's wonderful. So I would say this was definitely a success. It tastes better than condensed tomato soup and healthier too. I know exactly what's in it, and I'm going to portion this out so that it's ready to go for the week. I'm going to use my green 21-day fix containers, and I'll probably do about 1.5 greens for a serving for this soup. And I'm going to put them in these cute little mason jars just because they look nice, but you could use Tupperware or whatever you want. Okay, have these ready to go for my meal prep. I am going to say that these are 1.5 greens, and then I'll do a teaspoon count for each of these as well to account for the coconut milk and the avocado oil that's in the recipe. My Instant Pot with my meatloaf has gone off. I'm really excited to see how this turns out, and it calls for a quick release, so I'm going to do that now. Remove the trivet. Doesn't appear like it's done. I did 20 minutes like it said, but it is clearly not done at all. So I'm gonna actually just put it in for like another 10 minutes. While I'm cooking my meatloaf longer, I'm gonna go ahead and make the topping, and it just calls for ketchup, apple cider vinegar, and maple syrup. I'm just gonna stir it up and have it ready. And then I think I'm gonna give it a quick broil. I like to have a nice little topping kind of broiled on top of my meatloaf. So when it finishes cooking, I'm gonna spread it on to the meatloaf and then broil it for about 5 minutes. The recipe actually calls to add more bacon to this, but I'm going to leave that part out just for my diet purposes. But I bet it would be good. My pot has gone off again for the 10 minutes, so really hoping that it's done now. This still isn't done. I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna bake it, and I'm gonna finish up making my kale in the Instant Pot, and I don't know what's going on here, so I'm gonna do some Googling and try to figure it out, but a little disappointed that it didn't cook the way that it said in the recipe book, but I'm hoping that once it is finally cooked that the flavor is at least good. While my meatloaf is cooking, I'm going to do my last meal prep item, which is kale in the Instant Pot. And I made this one time before. It was so good. I know it's going to taste great with this meatloaf if it ever gets done. I have some bacon cooking. And I'm going to take the bacon out and chop it. And I'm going to put a tablespoon of the bacon fat into the bottom of the Instant Pot and saute my onions. I'm also going to add some garlic in there. And I'm going to fill up the pot with kale. I'm actually going to turn this off. It's on saute. Okay, I'm going to give it a little stir. Put the lid on. Sealing. Then I'm going to do manual high. Okay, I have the temperature up to about 160 finally. So I just put the topping on there and I'm going to broil it for about 5 minutes just to brown up the topping. My kale is done, so I'm going to do a quick release. Gonna add my bacon. Give it a good stir. I am finally ready to plate up my meatloaf, but first I'm gonna take a bite, and I'm hoping that even with all the struggles that I had getting it to cook, that it has a good flavor. It is hot, it just came out of the oven. It is pretty good. I like the bacon flavor. Turkey is a really hard ground meat to cook with because it's bland and you have to season it like crazy. So the bacon really helps. And I kind of thought I wasn't going to like the topping because it has that apple cider vinegar and I could smell it and it seemed so strong when I just tasted the topping. But all cooked together, it tastes great. So I'm going to portion this out into my containers and add the kale. And each serving of the meatloaf, I can get about 4 out of this, and it'll be 1 red and 1 teaspoon for the bacon. And then the kale would be another teaspoon and probably a green and a half. Kale cooks way, way down, and you saw I filled up the whole pot. So 1 red, 1.5 greens, and 2 teaspoons for these. Finally have my prep finished. That took a little longer than I anticipated because of my issues with the Instant Pot, but overall I'm really happy with the flavor of everything, and this is totally different than what I usually prep, so I'm excited to have something new. Once again, the cookbook I was using is the brand new Paleo Cooking with Your Instant Pot by Jennifer Robbins. I think I'm pretty happy with this cookbook, even with the misstep that I had. I'm not giving up on it yet. I've only tried, this actually is the 3rd recipe that I've tried, including the 2 that I did today. And the flavors have been great. And I think the Instant Pot takes some experimenting. It seems like even on following the Instant Pot community that people just seem to have different cooking times. I don't know whether it's altitude or what. So I'm not giving up on it yet. I'm actually gonna do a few more recipes for Modern Day Fox for my blog and my YouTube channel. I appreciate everyone who watches. This is amazing. Thank you to my 25 subscribers. I didn't even realize I had subscribers until earlier today. So thank you guys so much. I'm kind of just doing this for fun. I love my Instant Pot and I love the 21-day fix. If you need any help with your fitness goals, just hit me up, moderndayfox@gmail.com, and make sure you visit me on my blog. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. See ya.